All right, let's get back into it, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys enjoyed that from the boys straight from Stamford Bridge. Let's get straight into some of these tactical talks, and then we'll touch on a few of the players right at the end as well. Let's go to you, Ryan. We're going to bring up the board now. Ryan, do you want to sort of go through what you sort of saw in the first half? Probably not so much we could say maybe in the second half. Maybe you could, the Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Angerine and whatnot. But first half, the way Ziyech played more centrally, that was eye-catching for me. I think not only the fact that he scored 2 goals, but he just gave that extra impetus from midfield. I feel with Werner and Havertz playing more up top. Alonso, I thought Alonso was quite okay in the left wing back. But yeah, overall, what was your analysis, man? We're waiting to see this right now.
All right, so am I right with this back three where everybody's positioned? Rudiger, Zuma, Chalobah, or Chalobah is right center back, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So today was a bit different. The tactics. Today we actually set up in a staggered 3-3-3-1. So it kind of looked like this. We had a. Let me just set up everything here. But we had 3-3, and our 3 was actually something like this.
Yeah.
Something like this. This is how we set up our attack. This is how we build. We build from the left hand side most of the time. Our attacks built from the left hand side, and we set up in a 3-3-3-1. And what this did is that usually what we see when we have our pivot is that a lot of times with Alonso, we would see that, say, for example, if Pulisic sat on the left or Mount sat on the left, more of a player who would like to be on the ball, they would drop in more, and then Alonso would hug the touchline in high areas as such, right? And as a result, many balls would go in behind for Alonso to run and get onto, but with his pace, he doesn't really get to do that. He doesn't do that successfully enough. And even so, his delivery isn't the best in those situations. Where you see the best out of Alonso is when he's allowed space to actually make those inverted runs into the box where you can shoot or get a shot off or whatever like that. But today was different. Today we had Timo up here, and Timo is not really, he would drop deep, of course, to allow space for other people to make runs. But he is not a ball player like a Mason Mount or a Pulisic who would want ball to feet regularly. So this allowed Alonso to be at this left midfield position here, or left wing back, a more traditional left wing back position, as opposed to a left wing position where he's normally at. So from here, he took up a different responsibility. He took up more of a ball playing role. Let me just see if I can put a little ball. I don't know. Yeah. Let me see if I can make that a little bit bigger.
You're doing something unbelievable, bro. We are taking the analytics to a different level in this channel.
Next level.
Yeah. So what I really want to say that why we set up in a 3-3-3-1 here, if you could notice that there's a plethora of space between the lines. There's always space between the lines. And what the space allows is for rotations to occur. Examples of rotations will be something like if Havertz drop deep, Werner would get in behind. Or example, if like say Ziyech drops deep, Hudson-Odoi would fill in that position there. And this is what we saw a lot. This space between the lines here was really worked on very well with this staggered 3-3-1-3 formation and allowed for very good rotations. But to make the most of these rotations, we need the ball players to play the vertical simple passes. We need those passes to be, we need those, hold on, stick with me here. Yeah, we need those kind of those simple passes between the lines, you know what I mean? And yeah, and that is something that Chelsea kind of struggled to do for a long time. They always kind of didn't want to find those passes, and it resulted in a lot of sideways passes and this and that. And we always see fans complaining about that. And this was a major change for today because we essentially had 3 ball players playing passes. And Rudiger would be there, but to save time, I wouldn't put our next ball there to show. But Rudiger would get up a little bit, and we'd have three ball players playing those balls between the lines and even having it switch to Hudson-Odoi. So that was what I really enjoyed about this staggered 3-3-1-3 as opposed to our usual setup. I just want to say that even Kovacic today, usually we would have a kind of thing where Jorginho would be here, and it would allow somebody to drop a little bit deeper between the lines. Usually Havertz would drop a little bit deeper between the lines, so we could get Werner in behind in this region here. And Kovacic really, Jorginho as the regista, he would usually have to take a more disciplined approach because we would allow Chilwell to overlap a lot, and then Jorginho would be here and Rudiger would be here, and we would need that defensive cover if Jorginho was here. And then we would have Kante as a more connector, as when he receives the ball here, he can run into a bunch of space and lay it off for anybody he wants. This was different today because Kovacic did not play that role. I think that last game with the 3-5-2, he had to play that role because he was the CDM and he had 2 8s, which was Ziyech and Loftus-Cheek. But today was different. In the 3-3-3-1, he actually took more of the roaming role. And Kante didn't stay here a lot, but he stood at the halfway pitch where he could roam and get back. Because when you have a machine like Kante, he doesn't need to stay here. He has the legs to be around here if needed. So we saw Kovacic getting that freedom to make those passes in between the lines that we spoke about. And then again, we talked about why Ziyech had such a big impact. Because from this region now, Ziyech had all the space between the lines to drop here. And what I want you to realize that when Ziyech dropped, right, if he had Reece James here, right, because Reece James wouldn't be here. Reece James would be here.
Man, if he this had is fantastic analysis.
If he had Reece James here, right, and Ziyech here, when Ziyech dropped, it would be easy for one defender to come out and mark Ziyech and have Ziyech play with his back toward goal. And when Ziyech get that ball, he may lose it because he doesn't have the stature to hold off play with his back against goal. But when you have a player like Hudson-Odoi up here, now it's very difficult to ask a defender to come out to mark Ziyech because if he comes
you can
out,
you can play the ball behind and find Callum.
Exactly. So if Ziyech drops and a defender drops now, then boom, all of a sudden you're wide open. You have Havertz in here, you have Werner waiting for the cutback, and you're doomed. You're done. So this time
just quickly, Ryan. I know we've said this quite a few times. So I want to get to the live chat. Smash the like button. Get the likes up to over 100 straight away. We've got 120 people. Get those likes up. Ryan, I want to ask you. Do you think that's probably one of the main reasons why we were looking at Hakimi? Because Hakimi will take the positions that Callum is probably, as you've got Callum there, but probably even higher up. Do you know what I mean? Like he will. The whole reason why I feel like Hakimi was going to be brought in is to be explosive on the right side, but also unleash someone like Ziyech's ability where what you've just explained, dropping deep and using that left foot, and then allowing someone like Hakimi to go behind.
Yeah, and Hakimi or any overlapping wing back, because I think Hakimi and Hudson-Odoi is a bit different from Traore, because Traore really likes to hug here, right? He hugs the touchline, but Hudson-Odoi is a winger, so he would not only want to keep the field wide, he would actually make those runs here and make this much more dangerous. One thing, Hakimi also has the instinct to make those runs here because he and Barella used to exchange a lot on the side, so Hakimi used to make those inverted runs also. So I think that's a major reason why to unleash a player like Ziyech, we need an overlapping wingback, because when we have Hudson-Odoi taking on that, and even on the ball with Hudson-Odoi being that right winger who takes on players, it allows Ziyech to get to here where he can be a goal threat. Because he's an extra goal threat. Then not only a goal threat, but then you have places where even when he receives the ball here, you could shoot, but you could also lay it off to Werner and then get into Havertz. It has so much combinations that can happen having Ziyech here. But we need the only way Ziyech can be there is if somebody relieves that responsibility on the right. And I'm not sure if Reece James could do that. Because yes,
Yeah.
Reece James could overlap. Off the ball, he can overlap, then send it across. But on the ball, I do not know if Reece James could take on players like Hudson-Odoi, get into these positions here as much. And that's one thing that we need to think about. Especially, it's kind of odd that we're getting Koundé. Is Koundé going to be playing that right centre back, or is Reece James going to be that right centre back? Because it might as well.
That's the thing. That's the big question.
And then it makes you think that we're not in for a midfielder. Is there any way that we can see Christensen be a the DM? Because he plays there a lot for his national team. It makes you think what Tuchel has up his sleeve, because you won't blow 50 to 60 million on a player that you don't desperately need. That's the thing. Especially when you already spent 130 on Lukaku, you're not going to waste 60 million on a player you're going to have on a bench. No, Tuchel has a clear idea what he wants to do, and I'm intrigued to see it too, because I have no idea. And I want to mention one more thing about Mason Mount, how he can fit in here, because I would prefer overlapping right wing back.
Yeah.
But it seems for sure we might stick with the three at the back. All our preseason is three at the back, so let's stick with three at the back.
Yeah.
And I think with Chilwell here, I'm not going to change names, I'll take too long, but Chilwell is an overlapping left wing back. He has the pace to be back and forth, back and forth. One thing about Chilwell is that he is not. I'm not saying Alonso is a ball player, because you don't really see Alonso doing much of this. So I'm not going to say after one half he's a ball player. But today he was. And we're analyzing today. But Chilwell is not that ball player either. He is not that ball player. And I think that is the difference from today's game. Having these two guys here break one line. You don't need to break two lines like Xavi and Iniesta, You just need to break one line. And then when you have a player like Ziyech here unmarked, that's it. That is
Game
it.
over. And it's over. Yep.
Then you have Kante roaming up and down, it's over. But Chilwell would not be here. But that gives me an idea, that gives me an idea. We know that Mason Mount as a LCM, that's his best position. Not a typical pivot midfielder, not a deep CM, but a CM who has easy access to the final third, and have the time to drop deep if he needed. So I'm thinking that if Mount starts on the left, and he is that ball player here, that could allow Chilwell to get into these juicy spots where he could send crosses to a Lukaku or to a Havertz and something. Then having that overlapping wing back could allow Ziyech space here. So now you have three ball players, even though Mount's still developing his game as a ball player. I think that we've seen how much Kovacic has improved over 1 year in his ball playing ability. We used to say Kovacic never played a forward pass. Now look at him. He's our main ball player, except for Ziyech. So we can see Mount improve like that in the next year. And I think he will. But it makes me think, man. And I want to ask you all this question to make things a little more juicy. If we have Mount here and we have Chilwell here, I can't change the names. I'll have to go all here to change it. We're not going to do that. But think about it: Chilwell and Mount here, and we have a Lukaku as number 9, 130 million.
I was just gonna say, I was gonna ask you, bidding Lukaku.
Then now it makes you think: do we need these three players behind here?
We probably don't. We can probably sacrifice one of the CBs.
When you have players like Havertz, Mount, Ziyech, Hudson-Odoi, a lot of them, you have to find a way to get all of them on the pitch. And to be an attacking side, I would really love us to take off the brakes, man, and get that extra person in there, so we could have a Lukaku roaming here. Now we can have Havertz roaming wherever
you want
he
6-0 scores every game. You want 6-0. That's what you want, Brian.
But I mean, if you think about it, if we have all these players here, we do not need Kovacic here and we do not need Kante here. All we need these players to do is connect play to these attacking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players. 6 and 4 is really a sound setup. Six having two players back here. Obviously, we'd have Jorginho around somewhere.
Bro,
And
some of the top clubs generally go with the 6 and 4. I'm pretty sure Man City are 6 and 4 as well.
to be honest, if defenders could defend, you could go 7-3. A lot of teams go 7-3. I think what will come important, I was having a conversation with somebody today on Twitter on my mentions. You can check it out. But what we're saying is that when you have 4 or 3 players behind here, that's where the counter pressing comes really important. Because when you lose the ball, if you could have 1, 2, 3, if you lose the ball here and you have 3 players rushing in, or you lose the ball here, you have 3 players rushing in, you can stop that transition of play. You can really
Exactly.
stop it. And that's why Klopp was so good at it with the counter press and stuff like that. If you want to play beautiful attacking football, you always run that risk, which Man City always run that risk of us breaking away and scoring. And Klopp also runs that risk, but that's the price you pay if you want to play attacking football like this. And the thing is, the last thing I want to say before I wrap this up, and let me remove Chalobah from being a striker before people think I'm crazy. But yeah, they say, well, who is this guy? But,
a new up and coming striker.
like the Unai Emery tactical masterclass on listening here, those memes. But I just want to say that the 3 at the back makes us very, very difficult to beat. It makes us a team that's difficult to beat.
Yeah.
But it's also a system that makes it kind of more difficult for us to win.
Yeah.
And I know I think that a lot of teams with 3 at the back and a 3-5-2, they don't have 6 to 7 attackers in the team who can all start a game. And I think Tuchel, I'm not sure. Chelsea is not the kind of club who allows you time to take that risk. If Tuchel changes that back form, we lose and we're 10 to 11 to 12, Chelsea what they are. You know what I mean? And he's not allowed that time to flourish. And I just don't know. I don't know what we'll do. But all I know is that if you have Ziyech in form, I would be really, really disappointed if he's dropped. And Mount is going to stake his claim once again. He always does.
Yeah.
Lukaku is starting, and we can't drop Havertz. He's our star boy. We need an overlapping wing back if we want to make this magic happen in the center here. And Chilwell is a given starter, so we need somebody to drop deep here to allow Chilwell to do his thing. So that's something to think about. I hope you all enjoyed this analysis.